In today's lesson, we are going to talk about summation notation. Summation notation is a way to represent a series using the Greek letter sigma to denote the sum. Okay, you say this is sigma. All right. So it's this little guy right here. This tells you what the first term number, like where in the sequence that you are starting. Okay. This gives you the last term number. So where in the sequence that you want to end. And this 2n will change depending on the formula for the sequence. So this is just another way to find the sum of an arithmetic sequence. Okay, so in the last lesson we learned that little equation, that guy, okay? But we can also just use this summation notation, which is really easy if you have a graphing calculator. So we're going to find the sum of the series above up here. So this is how you would do this by hand. So you would need to know the sequence of the first 5 terms. So we can find that by using this equation right here. So we would do 2 times 1, because that's the first term, plus 2 times the second term, plus 2 times the third term, plus 2 times the fourth term, plus 2 times the fifth term. And we're going to stop there because that's the last number. That's the last term number. So you would just type that all in. So we would get 2 plus 4 plus 6 plus 8 plus 10 which is 30. I just typed that in my calculator. Okay. That's a lot to do by hand. So I'm going to show you where this button is in the calculator and where you can like scroll through it a little quicker here. Okay. So we are going to evaluate each of these by using this summation notation in our calculator. Oh wait, actually, no, we're not. We're not going to use the calculator yet. I'm going to show you the old school way with this formula right here. Okay. So we want to actually start with the 5th term. So we need to find what a sub 5 is. Okay. So in order to do that, I'm going to do 8 times 5 minus 4. So let's see. 8 times 5 minus 4 is 36. And then we also, so that's really your first term. And then we need the last term. And the last term is the 8th. So we need oopsies, that's supposed to be an A sub 8. My goodness, that is just, I'm sorry. Let me just, start over there. Oh, there we go. All right, so 8 times 8 minus 4. 8 times 8 minus 4, 60. So that gives me my first and my last term. And then we are actually finding the sum of 4 numbers. And that's because we start at the 5th term. We need the 6th term, the 7th term, and the 8th term. So we have a total of 1, 2, 3, 4. So n will be 4 because we have 4 terms. Okay. So this one's a little tricky because this isn't a 1 here. Okay. So we're finding the sum of the 4 terms, so 4 divided by 2 times our a sub 1 was 36, plus our last term, a sub n, which was the 8th term, was 60. And that is what you are typing into your calculator. So 4 divided by 2 is 2. So you're doing 2 times 36 plus 60, 192. Okay. All right, over here, number 2. We're starting with the first term and then ending on the 7th term. So let's find out what that first term is. So we're going to do negative 3 times 1, which is negative 3. A sub 7th, which would be the last term, so negative 3 times 7, which is negative 21. Okay, and then we're going to find the sum of the first 7 terms, because we're actually starting at 1, so it will be the first 7 terms. We're ending on the 7th term. So we're going to do 7 divided by 2 times, I'm getting it from here, a sub 1, which was negative 3, plus a sub n, which was negative 21. Type that into your calculator. 7 divided by 2 is 3.5 times negative 3 plus negative 21. Oh, I forgot to close my parentheses. But I think we end up, yep, negative 84. We're good. All right. Who wants to do all that work? Not I. So let's use the summation notation from the calculator. So in order to do this, we are going to follow these buttons below, okay? So I'm going to kind of walk through this and show you where the buttons are as well. So we're going to press math, scroll down until you reach the summation option. So you scroll, scroll, scroll. That's your summation option, okay? Press enter. All right, a summation notation template will be displayed. That's this guy right here, okay? So let's evaluate this problem over here on the calculator. So even though these are n's, we don't have n in our calculator, so I'm just going to use x. So I'm just going to hit the x button, okay? You can just use x. It's not a big deal. Just any variable, okay? And this is a 1. Notice how I'm using the arrows to get to the next part. 12. I'm just using the right arrow to go. You kind of have to play with the arrows to figure out how to get there, but okay, but this is x equals 1. I'm going to end on the 12th term. I'm going to type in my formula. Negative 2 x, because I'm using x, plus 5. Make sure you use the negative sign and not the minus sign there, okay? So now this looks exactly like that. You hit enter, done. Negative 96. Wowzers. Pretty awesome, right? Okay. Let's try some more. Now this says if you have an older operating system, you can use this method. I don't think I can show you that. Second, let's just say stat. Where's my stat button? Oh my goodness. Oh, right there. Sorry. Or I just have to hit stat, I guess. Go over to math. Yeah, I don't have this operating system, okay? So I can't do this in the calculator. These would be like if you don't have the TI-83 calculator, but you still have a graphing calculator. If you have the TI-83 or TI-84, you should be able to do this. If you don't, but you still have a graphing calculator, try this method, okay? I'm sorry I don't have one of those calculators for me to go through those steps, so you'll just have to figure that out. All right, let's do these though. Number 3, find the sum by any method we want. All right, well, I don't even have the summation notation, so there's no point of me using the summation notation right now. So let's see here. I think I'm just going to use this formula on this problem. So I need, let's see, find the sum using any method. So I've got, oh, I have no idea what n is. I have to find what n is. So I might have to use this formula first. My last term is 50 equals my first term is 18 plus 18 to 22. I'm adding 4, add 4. It looks like I'm just going to add 4 each time. So we'll say d is 4. N minus 1. So I use this formula here. Let's go find out what n is. So let's see, I've got 50 equals 18 plus 4n minus 4 when I distribute that. 50 equals 4n, 18 minus 4 is 14. I'm going to subtract 14 to both sides. Sorry, guys. There we go. Okay. So 50 minus 14 is 36. Equals 4n. Divide both sides by 4. You need to do it on your calculator. N is 9. So I'm finding the sum of the first 9 terms. So 9 divided by 2. First term was 18. And the last term was 50. So I'm going to type that in my calculator. 4.5 times 18 plus 50. I got 306. Okay. So that one required some work. All right, number 4. This is in the summation notation, so I am just going to go ahead and plug that in my calculator. So I'm going to hit math. If you scroll up, you actually get to the summation notation faster. X, remember it doesn't matter. You can use X for N. 6 times 2, whoops, I don't know why I put parentheses, 2x plus 11. I got 108. Okay. Number 5. That's summation notation again, so I'm just going to do that on my calculator. All right, so math, summation. These are t's, but I can still use an x. It does not matter. So I'm starting at the 19th term, and I want to find the sum from the terms from 19 to the 23rd term. So 5x minus 3, that looks good, 510. Now, if you do not have a graphing calculator, okay, you are going to have to do like what we did on number 2, okay? So you would have to find the first term and the last term and plug it into this formula here, okay? So you would have to, like on this problem, you'd have to find the first term and the 6th term. Here you'd have to find the 19th term and the 23rd term and then plug it in the formula. Okay, so whatever method you need to use, do it. And that's it for summation notation.